Radio Cardiff
98.7 FM.
Wel, prynhawn dda. Good afternoon. Croeso, welcome to the show. Yes, it's me, Sam Shorty, back again on the airways of Radio Cardiff. I've got a lady that's come to visit me today, a lady called Elizabeth Gould. She is the prospective Plaid Cymru candidate for the Riverside by-election coming up on, is it Tuesday next week? Thursday the 5th, that's right. Right then, let's get your mic up. So hello Elizabeth, welcome to the radio station.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's great to be here and playing a fantastic track, might I add. Lovely.
Well, it is one of your selections. I do ask my guests to give me 3 of their favourite tunes. And I got to say, I do love your... Well, I might vote for you just on your musical taste.
Thank you, Sam. I hope other people will take your heed of that. They are great tracks, I hope, they've chosen.
Well, this one's called Cantaloupe and it's by US3. Also, you've chosen Justin Timberlake, Take Back the Night. And Sugar Hill Gang, Rappers Delight.
That's amazing.
Wicked tune, I gotta say.
It is, it's amazing.
Well done, Lizzie. You're in my good book already.
Oh, fab.
So then, what made you get involved in politics?
Well, Sam, I, about a year and a half ago, started noticing how filthy the streets were near where I live in Riverside. Lots of fly tipping, broken fridges, for example, loads of mattresses, and so on. And I started taking photographs, forwarding them to the council. I tried to get involved with local councillors, often didn't get any response to my emails, so ended up going direct to the cabinet minister with the council, and I found that the streets did get cleaner near me. It's an ongoing battle. I've got lots of flats on my doorstep as well, and lots of multiple occupancy dwellings, and overspilling bags and so on. So it was really initially to clean up the streets around me, and I think I've had quite a lot of success. And I also actually got involved in campaigning for a new Welsh medium school in Grangetown. Because there isn't one, nor in Butte Town, and that we feel, and with a campaign group called TAG, we feel very firmly that there is a big demand, and that it is unfair that the children in that area have to travel quite far in order to be schooled in Welsh. So I'm part of that as well. So that's kind of how I got involved in it.
Okay, because having a dual language is very important. If you learn 2 languages when you're young, that's a skill that you can use throughout your life, really, because it builds the brain pathways.
Absolutely,
so you can learn any language. Once you've learned 2, you can learn 5.
That's what they say. Cognitive skills, great for neuron development, but I think it goes beyond that. It's, the Welsh language is for everyone, whether you speak Welsh or whether you don't. It's for everybody who lives in Wales, and it's so much easier to learn as a child. I'm learning. I'm 4 years in. It's tough. It's hard, but it's a cultural thing. I grew up in Wales, and it's something I'm really proud of, and hopefully I'm going to nail that language. It is tough, but I'm getting there.
Oh, Diane, well done.
Anyway.
Right then, so what are your main campaign issues that you want to campaign on so people can vote for you? What have you got to say?
The main issues, there are quite a few actually, because going around talking to people, but main issues are really protecting the green sites in Cardiff. We're vehemently opposed to selling off chunks, for example, of Llandaf Fields. It's about keeping it for the local people, and indeed for the wider community. It's not just the local people in Pontcanna and Riverside that use Llandaf Fields, it's the whole of the city and further beyond. So we're against development of the green sites, and also the planned local development plan by the council to develop thousands and thousands of houses on the outskirts of Cardiff, because we feel that there hasn't been enough thought in terms of the infrastructure, the traffic problems and so on, and we feel that will have a profoundly adverse effect, particularly on people who live in the inner communities in Cardiff, as we do. So we're against that. We're also really opposed to a lot of the frontline cuts and services, which I feel the current council does blame on Westminster, and I think it goes beyond that. I think it isn't, and obviously there's been a cut in funding to Wales, but it's not all about that. So protecting frontline services. I mentioned littering, and how about, I think it's personally really, really important to have clean streets, to have more bins and so on, and I don't think that services like that should be cut. So that's another issue. And then round where I am, people are very concerned about parking and lack of the fact that there are initiatives where there's a bit of residents parking and then it doesn't continue. And so a number of issues really. But it is about listening to local people, and I think people do not feel listened to. And if I am elected the local councillor next week, they can be ensured that I will be listening and I will be answering questions and putting forward questions to the current council.
Right then, well, I do represent Riverside a little bit on my Shorty show. I have a Riverside roundup, and I am aware that there are some cuts being proposed for the Wyndham Street Diner.
Yes, that's a really good point. I was out and about last night actually speaking to a lovely lady who invited me into her house just around the corner from the diner, and she brought that up about how worried she is that it's going to lose all of its funding. And we've said, it's about protecting community services like that. I also actually feel, and the lady that I spoke to last night, that the diner gets very little publicity. It needs to be promoted on a much wider scale than it currently is. And so I know there's a petition going up, and in fact I think there's a meeting tomorrow morning talking about this particular issue. So, of course, if I'm elected, that is something that I will take very, very strongly forward, because it is not to be closed down to lose its funding.
Yes, apparently they want to give the service users their meals in their own homes, sort of a microwave TV dinner sort of thing. Which is going to mean that people are left in their own homes and they're isolated and they're not getting the chance to meet and socialise and get out the house that they do at the moment. And I mean, I've got hundreds of signatures so far. We have.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
There are many testimonials of people with letters of support that want to save the diner because it's their only place they go. Some of the people. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's very important to save Wyndham Street Diner and do go and try Nancy Barando's fabulous food, because it is such good value.
It is.
It's £3.50 for the over 50s to have a 2-course meal. You can't get that anywhere.
You can't, exactly.
And it's home cooked, freshly prepared every day, and it's locally sourced ingredients. So it's really, really is a something is close to my heart. And I hope you'll fight the cause with us, Elizabeth.
I will do.
Thank you very much. That's great.
What's that?
Yeah, another issue is the bin collections. What do you think about them proposing to do it monthly?
Well, I'm really against that. Monthly is just ridiculous, to be quite honest. It's a frontline service, having your rubbish collected. We pay council tax. Once a month is ridiculous. I think also that one size doesn't fit all, and that I mentioned, for example, flats and multi-occupancies. They perhaps, how are they going to cope with monthly collections? They're already struggling with twice a month, as I say. Bins are overspilling after a week, or the dumping on the streets and so on. I mean, it's really bad. I've got a whole catalogue of photographs showing this. So vehemently against monthly collections. And actually, I think that the council needs to be promoting recycling far more than it's currently doing, because I don't think the message is getting across to people at all. Yes, I totally agree. Of course, we must be recycling more, but I think there's a lot of confusion. People don't know what they should be recycling, messing all the bags up, putting the wrong things in there. So as a local councillor, I think the job, along with the council, is to educate people more. Get the message across regularly, not just now and again, because evidently there are lots of mistakes being made. So
Yeah, I think there was a lot of confusion with the green wheelie bin, which people put their recycling in, thinking it's for because it's green.
Yeah.
They think it's for the green paper, glass, and metal, but really it's for the garden waste, isn't it? But
It
there
is.
So people, I do see a lot of people put the wrong rubbish in the wrong place. There's a lot of confusion. It needs to be simplified, and it needs to be made clear in many languages in Riverside.
Couldn't
what to
agree
do.
more. Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
Right, and so when is the by-election, and why is there one?
Thursday, the 5th of December, that's next week. And the reason there is one, Sam, is because the Labour councillor Phil Hawkins resigned a couple of weeks ago.
Right, so he's resigning, and there's an opening there for somebody to take his place.
There is indeed, yes.
And that's what you want to do.
I do, yes.
So how long have you been involved in politics?
Probably the last 6 to 8 months I've been actively involved within the party, but I'd say on a wider scale, considerably longer.
You've always been politically minded.
I have, yes.
Is it because you care about your community? Is that why you get involved?
It is because I care about the community. I have a lot of pride and I really appreciate where I live. I'm very proud of Riverside. You know, it's a big ward. It encompasses Pontcanna as well. And, you know, I live in the Riverside part, down by Rawdon Place, just off Neville Street. And, you know, it's a great area. I want people to take more pride in it, you know, and more community spirit, because we are a fantastic lot that live in the ward.
We do all live together in Riverside, as it says on the Kitchener Roads
Yeah,
mural.
that's what it says.
When I my
we
neighbour.
do.
I'm to Burke Street. I'm on the
You
corner
are,
from
you're
you.
right near me.
Yeah.
Now I know it.
We'll have to go for lunch in the diner
Yeah,
one
we
day.
must do. I'll hold you to that.
Okay, then Liz. So, is it true that there's been all female candidates for applied this year?
Yeah, all three of us were all, fantastic candidates, and they've been helping the other two actively for my campaign. But yeah, we were all women.
So what's the thinking behind that choice then? That positive action choice?
What, behind getting three women?
Yes.
Well, we were three women who put ourselves forward and were selected. You know,
I see. It's not because
nothing to do with being women particularly. Just
it's not positive action then.
No, it's to do with, hopefully we were all three competent candidates that were selected, and then I got nominated.
Wonderful. Well, I think we need to have more women in positions of power because we're so underrepresented. I do wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Sam.
It's all right. And I must say, for balance, that the other parties, the other colours, will be coming on the radio on Georgina's show in the morning. So do keep it tuned to Radio Cardiff.
Radio Cardiff.